Emmy winner Quinta Brunson is getting her moment to shine. She interrupted, we all talked about this, Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, or first we talked about what Jimmy did, but she interrupted his monologue during last night's show as payback for Jimmy stealing her moment at the Emmys. So Jimmy then gave her the floor to give the rest of her speech. He later did apologize for the Emmy gag where he was dragged on stage and stayed there during her speech. Take a look.
And I'm very sorry if I did do that. I'm sorry I did do that, actually. And also, the last thing I would ever want to do is upset you because I think so much of you. And I think you know that. I hope you know that.
I saw you and I saw Will Arnett and my Emmy, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm having so much fun. But thank you, that's kind. But honestly, I had a good night.
And speaking of the Emmys, host Keenan Thompson made a joke about Leonardo Dicaprio. Is this a separate story? Or can we discuss first?
Yes, let's discuss first because this is important.
Okay,
yes.
So what did you think when you saw this?
Well, for me, I don't know. I had two different views, right? When Jimmy said it first, I was like, man, I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. Like, she's got to come on a show on Wednesday. I wonder how he's going to handle this. I thought he handled it great, right? And they did have a past, right? Here's the thing. If one of us did that joke and you were coming up, you'd be like, hey, Jeff, get out of the way, right? But when you're at the Emmys and you're winning your first Emmy, everything's not processing. Everything's moving in slow motion. Jimmy took the bit way too far, right? But giving her that moment back on his show and apologizing the way he did, and then their friendship, the way she's like, I'm cool with it too, Jimmy, made me think like, all right, everything's settled. But in the beginning, I didn't know how he was going to get out of it.
Yeah, because it was a social media storm, right? And when Quinta did I was having a good time, and then she went like that, that is, I hope that's okay for everyone who was trying to support me in defense or otherwise.
Right.
Because the reality of the situation is there's two different things going on. There's the reality of what's happening in that moment, and then there's our perception of what's happening in that moment as viewers. And for those of us who were at home watching Quinta get this Emmy, we're rooting for it. We want this to be her moment and her moment only. And the idea that anybody would insert themselves into that time is offensive to us because this means something to us. So when she came out later that night and said, I know him, he was a champion for, my success early on, maybe I'll feel differently about it later. And then she even said in that speech, and I don't know about social media, because she didn't want to get a backlash of not being, and I'm not trying to speak for her, but in my experience, when something is being seen and your experience might be two different things, and you don't want to upset people who also were really celebrating your moment with you. So I'm glad that she is in a place where she feels good about what happened and the fact that she was able to sort that over with him. But it's a really tricky place to be.
But no one got canceled. I love the way they handled it. Like, at the end of the day, people are going to make mistakes. Jimmy Kimmel did, but they handled it as I would hope everybody would. And then I just hope people now put it to bed. Do you think people are going to put it to bed?
I think so, just because I hope we're living in a world now where people understand that everybody's coming from a place of good faith. I don't think anybody thinks that Jimmy Kimmel was marking off the days on the mirror, with lipstick saying, I'm going to get her. It's so interesting, Aaron, what you were talking about. And Jeff, because everything is perspective. Because for me, obviously I'm cheering for Quinta, but I know one of my good friends writes for all those award shows. I'm a comic. I've written for TV, so I know that was a joke that just missed. So I'm looking at it like, oh, bro, get up. And I'm trying to think what I would do if I'm on side stage. Somebody should have signaled him. Maybe somebody should have canceled that because it was a long drag. That was weird just to get him out there. I looked at it as a joke that didn't work. You look at it, yes. And so it's all different perspectives. Everybody's kind of right, and at the end of the day, these are two people that seem to be friends, and I hope they can continue it.
Well said. Okay, so voting is now open to determine what classic toys should be inducted into this year's National Toy Hall of Fame. Some of the finalists include Light Bright, which came in
Not for you.
Which came in handy during an episode of Stranger Things. Growing up, we had a lot of Nerf balls around the house. I wonder if you did too. The board game Settlers of Catan?
No.
Huh. Okay.
Who put? I've never even heard of that.
First appeared in Germany in '95.
And then never was seen again.
Do you remember Spirograph? Oh, we just got that for Sophie. It's so much fun.
Did she break something around the house and you're mad at her?
No, it's actually
I love spirograph.
Yeah, great. The drawing kit has been on the market since 1965. Bingo. Did you know that bingo has been around for hundreds of years in some form? Other classic games like the top and the piñata are also contenders for the Toy Hall of Fame.
I got to jump in. The piñata needs to go.
What?
Because I have seen two bad piñata. This is what happens with piñatas. And like any parent, you need to know this. Piñatas are this weird thing. Well, one, they either won't break or they do break, but the person with the blindfold on doesn't know that it broke. So after they break it, the kids that aren't blindfolded run towards the candy, but the other one pulls back because they think they have another hit. I have seen 2 times in LA a kid catch a stick coming back.
No, listen, we always do a piñata at our house. Jeff has been privy to that. His boy Lawson, mean strike.
Yes.
But listen, you have to keep it orderly. Okay, so you keep the kids back. I would say a good 8 feet.
Yeah, sounds fun, Sam.
You give them 3 strikes. 1, 2, 3. The kids expect the 1.
Are you explaining how piñata?
I know. And first of all, I don't trust anything from Sam. Remember your terrible doll you had? Terrible, scary dolls?
Wait. I have a big reveal. Don't show the clip yet. Last year's winners, Risk, Sand for like a sandbox, and my girl Samantha, American Girl doll. And here, roll it, because remember you made fun of her. Well, she's in the Hall of Fame. Go ahead. This is the Samantha Harrington doll.
I think it came retired.
She's a Victorian orphan from 1904. I have her birth certificate.
You didn't even put her hat on.
I know she has a hat. Where is her hat? I have the whole outfit. This isn't the outfit. These are her pajamas.
Oh, my goodness. That's disturbing. You know that doll talks when you go to sleep.
I love her. I'm very close to allowing Sophie to start to play with her. I wanted to wait till she was responsible enough.
I thought you were going to say very close to throwing it in the trash.
Yes.
No, she's worth like $2,500.
Sam keeps changing the amount to, like, say, you told me like 15,000 one point. And then we looked it up and it was like 31. And then now it's up to 15 again. It's not. That doll, the value's in your heart, Sam, but not monetarily.
No, she's an original.
No, and where's Uno?
Uno was probably in there a while ago. I bet Uno's already been inducted.
I hope it got in there before Sand.
Kelly Schuberth is looking into Uno. I also have some original Cabbage Patch dolls. I have quite a few originals, and Uno's already in there. Kelly's giving me the thumbs up.
Wow.
So,
why did that clip look like it was from 1995?
I know.
Yes, that was COVID. That was COVID. Like, 2 people in the studio, just me, Sam, or Tori, and
no
David.
Hair and makeup.
Yeah, that was it.
That's
that was
crazy.
Doing our
I mean,
makeup.
my hair has literally grown 7 feet since then.
Look, and my dress is hanging off like
Yeah.
I know.
Your hair grows fast.
Look at my dress is hanging near the clavicle because I couldn't zip it up on myself. So I remember going home being like, oh my gosh, I wasn't able to zip up my dress. So
and no one was allowed to touch you.
No one was allowed to touch me. So I just showed Clav that day.
Download Clav. I love it.
Coming up on DBL. Erica snorted.